What's up, y'all? This is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it as always. If you could, please hit that like button, the notification button, the subscribe button to stay up to date with all of my future Teachable Tuesdays content. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started with today's discussion. Today, we are going to be concluding the sexual assault slash harassment awareness series. I almost got tongue tied again. This has been a series that's been going on since really the beginning of April. I had taken a few weeks off from Teachable Tuesdays in general, and I felt like it would be appropriate to obviously finish it up. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I actually want to follow through with this. I've been getting a lot of responses that have been talking about, a lot of men don't talk about this subject. So, first and foremost, I want to say I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the love. This is not an easy subject to tackle. This is not a subject that I typically see males tackle as much, but it's something that continuously needs to be addressed. And I'm not afraid to shy away from the hard subjects. So keep them coming. If you have any other things that you guys would like for me to talk about, I don't care how hard it may be. Now, there are, certain things that I won't do on this channel if it like insults another person's intelligence or insults a group of people. That's not my forte. But, as far as subjects that we can tackle that will help us move forward as, humans and as, civilized individuals who want the best from anybody and for anybody for that matter, then yeah, we're definitely going to go with those subjects. But let's talk about sexual assault, which is the big kahuna that we need to tackle, the big elephant in the room, as they say. Now, what is sexual assault? I've given you guys a definition of it before, but just in case, you're new to my channel and you missed the first part of the series, first couple parts, which, by the way, if you haven't done so, go and check those out too. Sexual assault is when you physically touch someone in an inappropriate manner that is unwarranted, right? A lot of times when we think about sexual assault, we think about the R word. Can't say it on YouTube because you know how that goes, but y'all know what I'm talking about. RA, you know what? We also think about maybe a man or a woman being attacked in a sexual manner, but it could be something simple as smacking a guy or a girl's butt. That can be considered sexual assault. Now, I'm not saying that obviously if you're in a relationship with somebody, you married, that's what y'all do, then, hey. But, unwarranted is the key word here. For example, if a guy's in public and he goes up and smacks a woman's butt that he doesn't even know just because she got a nice butt or whatever, that's considered sexual assault. And vice versa. If a woman, I saw a video where it was a guy performing and she grabbed his private area while he was on stage. She was near the stage. And the sick part about that, which I'm going to get to in just a second, is she went on social media and basically bragged about it and said, why is it a big deal? Grow a pair, you know what, man up, because the man was visibly upset. I'm sorry. I would have been visibly upset too. In fact, I would have had security throw you out. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother conversation that we'll get to on another day or possibly even later. Anyways, anytime you're touched in an area that is unwarranted, that is considered sexual assault. If you touch a man's butt or his private area, genitals, if you touch a woman in her chest area, her butt, or her private area, that is, forms of sexual assault. And now, of course, if you want to take it to another level, then you have, which was, I can't even think of the term of it right now, sexual assault through coercion. Now, what does that mean? That is the next step up, in my personal opinion. That is when you pretty much kind of force someone into sexual activity. But by technicality, it's not the RAP word because they did consent to it, but they consented to it by force. You know what I'm saying? By a level of uncomfort, in a sense, if you will. I'll give you an example and trigger warning, but this is a good example right here. Let's say you are a woman, right? And you're hanging out with a man, you're at his place or whatever, and he says that he wants to get physical with you. And you tell him, no, I'm good. And he keeps on asking, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to go because I feel uncomfortable. Which, by the way, fellas, as I've said plenty of times before, and for my ladies too, if somebody says no, it's no. End of discussion. Don't keep asking them. Don't keep agging it on. It's no for a reason. Okay? Anywho's, so basically, you try to get up. You're like, no, I'm going to get up and leave. He blocks the doorway and says, you're not going anywhere. And now it's become a dangerous situation because he's pretty much like, you give me what I want or you're not leaving. So you keep saying no, you keep denying it. He keeps grabbing all on you. And finally, you just end up giving in and saying, okay, you know what, just do it. Right? A lot of people will think that's just straight consent because she said, yeah, let's do it. No, that's not consent. That is not consent at all. Consent comes with comfort. She was not comfortable and she let it known that she wasn't comfortable. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if somebody's not comfortable, but they don't voice it or their body language doesn't show it, which I always say there's methods to that as well, just to double check and make sure somebody is comfortable. But when he or she voices that it's uncomfortable, they don't want to do it, and you continue to go through anyway, that's, again, sexual assault through coercion. You can still face jail time for that, big time, because a lot of people will say, oh, it was through consent, but it wasn't comfortable consent, if you catch my drift, right? She did it pretty much out of survival. And a lot of women do that, believe it or not. They will be physical with somebody they don't want to be physical with out of survival because the person is threatening them or the person won't let them leave their place, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, guys. I've said this in another video and I'll say it here too. If you want to get physical with somebody that bad and somebody says no, I'm guarantee you that somebody is going to say yes. Somebody's going to have enough sexual interest in you to want to go that route. It ain't worth going to jail over. It ain't worth possibly getting killed over either. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being 100 with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what people are capable of. And then, of course, the biggest level of sexual assault, and I'm no professional, let me just make sure I put this out there, is the RAP word. That is when it's forced. The person's clearly saying no. They're still saying no. And you just end up doing whatever you want to them. And you get physical in spite of them saying no. Or you guys are in the act and he or she says stop and you continue going. That's when it turns into RAP. Okay? Of course, that is the worst out of all of them. All of them are bad, but that is like the heavy hitter right there. And within any form of sexual assault, I need people to understand that people who have been sexually assaulted, now this is something they have to live with, right? And it's not fair. Nobody should have to live with anything that's not their fault. You live with your decisions. You shouldn't have to live with somebody else's decision to do something that was unwarranted. You get what I'm saying? So it's wrong all across the board, no matter how you try to phrase it. Well, what if she did this? What if he did that? What if his body language was this? What if her body... No. You gotta... I understand a lot of times when it comes to life, we want to go off of people's actions. And I'm a firm believer of that. I don't necessarily always just believe your words. I want you to show me. But when it comes to sex, words are the initial stage. So if someone says yes, then it's cool. But even then, understand that when somebody says yes, they can say no at any moment. If somebody says no, that's the end of that. Also, understand this. Past consent, as I said in one of my other videos, does not mean current consent. Just because you had sex with him or her before does not mean that it's going to happen again. Okay? Not the case. And I'm not talking about married folk here. I'm not talking about, that's a whole nother conversation, which we'll get into on another day. I'm talking about strictly folk that you were in a relationship with, or even just something casual. You know what I'm saying? Keep that in mind. All right. Now, when I say married folk, I'm not saying that you should force yourself on just because you married, because that ain't right either. But that conversation involves biblical context, and I'm not going to get into today. I'll talk about that another day. You know what I mean? But like overall, like, yeah, just bottom line, keep your hands to yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got consent to be touching people in certain areas, don't do it. If somebody says yes, but their body language is off, maybe check the temperature of the room. Not in the literal sense, but see if they're okay. I double check, triple check if I were you, just to, be on the safe side, especially my fellas. All right? Because you got to understand, for my fellas, you are innocent until, I'm sorry, you're guilty until proven innocent in America's law when it comes to anything dealing with sexual assault or harassment. Do whatever you need to do to protect yourself. Now, one more thing I want to address, and then we're going to end off the series. And of course, guys, if you have anything else that you would like to add, please leave a comment below. Again, I'm not a professional. I don't know everything. But I do feel like this issue needed to be addressed. And need to be addressed by a guy as well, because I hear a lot of ladies addressing it, which is great. But I think guys, hopefully this will encourage other guys to, be on the lookout and to see signs from people and to be able to know what to do if they've been assaulted, or if a loved one has been assaulted, regardless if they're a man or a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because again, women have had really bad experiences with this, and men have too. But I see a lot of women speaking out more than men do. You know what I mean? So, last part is, what should you do if you are assaulted? Well, I said this in another video, and I'll say it again. Tell somebody. All right? Tell somebody you feel comfortable with. Let them know what happened. I know it's a very hard thing to do, because a lot of times you might feel ashamed. You might feel like you're worthless. You might feel like it's your fault. So many different things. Let me make something perfectly clear. It is never your fault that you were sexually assaulted. Ever. Okay? People try to make jokes and, oh, she was asking for it based on what she wore, or he was asking for it based on what he wore. No. I hate that. I hate that statement. I heard somebody say that one time, and like, I wanted to punch his lights out. Like, and he wasn't talking about somebody he was dealing with, but he was talking about, making a joke about, in general. And I was just like, heck nah, bro. I'll knock you out. What? No. It's never somebody's fault that they're a victim. You know who's at fault? The person who victimized them. All right? So talk to somebody. Call the police immediately. Ladies, I know a lot of times you're not sure, and you're... Listen, I need y'all to contact the police ASAP. Okay? Like, don't wait 2 weeks. Don't wait 2 months. Don't wait 2 years. Because the longer you wait, this is for both my men and my women in general, if you've been assaulted, the longer you wait, the harder it will be to get a case going to get that person. All right? Because things have passed. Sometimes people may question you and say, well, why didn't you say something sooner? Which I don't think is the right thing to do when you've been sexually assaulted or harassed, but just saying. Talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you don't want to call the police right away, maybe talk to one of your friends. Maybe they can call the police for you. Or family members. Somebody that you feel comfortable with. Talk to somebody. Don't just keep it in, because there's going to be a lot of things going on. A lot of maybe guilt, a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of anger, a lot of resentment. Also, I would recommend going to therapy. Okay? You're going to need it. It's hard when you've been done like that in the... Sorry about that. My phone had went dead, but anyways, like I was saying, because you'll notice this little split off part may look a little weird, but it's hard when you've been done wrong, to, like, especially in that manner, to really, like, get everything that you're feeling out there. Granted, for some people it might be a bit easier, but for others it can be a bit challenging. This ain't no low level grade stuff that you're dealing with if this happens to you, or if this has happened to you. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I'd say some of the best ways to protect yourself. Um, I know some people might disagree with this, but ladies, carry something with you. Um, you carry some mace, carry some mace. You never know how that may um help you out in this in that type of situation. And listen, I'm not condoning violence by any means, but if you need to protect yourself, you need to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? Also, let me put this out here. Granted, sexual assault and harassment can happen, and it's known to have happened by people you trust the most. So let me put this out here. No matter how much you know or don't know a person, it can happen either way. However, I do want to put this out here. If you don't know a person that well, I would highly suggest that you do a couple of things to kind of help prevent, these type of situations. Number one, I would say go ahead and, you know, make sure that you know this person frequently well before you get physically involved in them, with them, if that's what you choose to do. You know what I'm saying? I think that's very important. Like, you don't want to physically. And it's sad we live in a very much sexually saturated environment, but you want to be sure that you know that person fairly well. You know what I'm saying? Because you just, when you don't, you just never know. Now, granted, there have been situations where people have, I guess, gotten physical early on and happily ever after, or even if it wasn't happily ever after, there's nothing that went wrong. Yeah, that happens. But you just never know with people these days. If you can, do a background check. I know that sounds a bit extreme, but when you meet people, and I think I hear more ladies that do this than fellas, do a little bit of, searching. If this person registers as a sexual assault or harassment offender, yeah, just don't go that route. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. Also, location aspect works. I know with iPhones, you can share where your location is and stuff like that. I know me, and I think I may have mentioned this in the previous video. I can't remember if I did or not, but there was a woman that I was dating at one point in time that lived in California. And I went out there to meet her in person for the first time. And I asked her, hey, are you sharing your location with your friend? And the reason why I did that, I was like, make sure you let your friend know that you're going to be with me. Well, she knew she was going to be with me, but make sure you share your location just in case, anything happens and we need to figure out what's going on. She's aware of what's going on as well. And I did that. The reason why I did that was because I wanted her to feel safe. You know what I'm saying? I mentioned that and she was like, wow, I never ever had a guy say something like that, even though I always know to do this. And I was like, yeah, because I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel comfortable. So yeah, share your location with a friend. And so that way, God forbid something goes down, maybe the friend can help bail you out. You know what I mean? Like, or send police to get there. That's important. Even for my fellas, I know I was kind of speaking from the ladies' perspective, but fellas, it's important. I had one of my brothers from church fuss me out, clear as day, because I went on a date one time. The date went well, but the date was late. That is the third interruption that I've had for this Teachable Tuesday video. That's how I know this video is going too long. I'm going to wrap it up, y'all. But anyways, when he found out, basically, like I said, he fussed me out because he was just like, anything could happen and this and that. And you was out on a date like 11 o'clock at night and ain't nothing open but legs that late. And I'm just like, geez Louise, all right, bro. But, he had a point, You always need to let somebody know where you're going. Because if something goes down, and it doesn't even have to be something like assault or harassment, but just, I don't know, let's just say you're on your way home and you get into an accident. Like, they know, oh, he was at such and such place, he had a date, so maybe he's somewhere around this area. You know what I mean? I mean, all that's important. All that's very important. But listen, I'm going to wrap this video up because obviously this video is getting too long because it has cut me off 2 times. And I'm not trying to be cut off a 3rd time. But anyways, on a serious note, I really hope this series helped you guys. If there's anything that I missed, charge it to my head, not my heart. I'm not an expert. If there's anything that you disagree with and you feel like I should have maybe switched something up or added some more information, I mean, feel free to definitely let me know about that as well. Not perfect, still learning. Like I said, not an expert. I'm just trying to get the message out the best way that I can. But at any rate, I thank you guys for really venturing with me in this series. I know this was not an easy topic to talk about. I know for some of you guys, this may be a little triggering. But I just hope that you found comfort in knowing that, number one, you're not alone. And number two, there are people out here that care about you enough to want to help you if you find yourself or you found yourself in that type of situation. All right. And one last message before I go. To anybody who has ever assaulted or harassed anyone in a sexual manner, my advice to you is to go get help. Like, I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm saying that to be like dead serious. Go get help. Because there's something fundamentally wrong and missing for the fact that people can't accept no for an answer. Or people are so off the rocket, for lack of better words, that they can't control their discipline. Okay? It's never right to put your hands on anyone in any manner. Especially when there's no consent involved. And a big especially when you don't even know that person like that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Just get some help. I would say go ahead and turn yourself into the police. But I doubt people going to do that. So, at the very least, get yourself some help. For real. Because that's sick. Okay? Just being real with you. Anyways, this is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you so much for joining me today with this longer than normal video, but I really hope the message got out there. And make sure you stay tuned because I have a few more videos coming out this week, and we have a new series starting next week that I'm going to talk about very soon. Until next time, much love, and please be safe out there. Peace.